Okay.
Towards the mic.
So, if you guys could see by the freestyle, we'll just start with the basics. Rappers are so obnoxious. I mean, even the most incompetent and most impoverished among us still like to pose like we pimp hoes for profits. It's simply implicit when we grip our own crotches. So excuse me for exposing the obvious. But poets are fascinated with self-flagellation, with exaggerated emotions and vocal masturbation. They got layer after layer of phony fashion statements folded into their words. The proper verb is invagination. Invagination, I-N-V-A-G-I-N-A-T-I-O-N, the folding of a membrane or surface in on itself to create a pocket or pouch. But rappers are obsessed with form and function, with the intricate syllable structures of words and the juxtapositions amongst them. I mean, for rappers, rhyme patterns are like sign language instructions, like we're computer hackers programming the crowd to have eruptions. And for poets, that's just disgusting. That's just pathetic approval-seeking. Poetry is supposed to be about truth-speaking, about exposing your soul and letting go of control like the Beast did at the New Eurekan. It's not about the response you're receiving. But for poets, that's exactly what it's about. If those poets are rappers. See, for rappers, that's exactly what it's about. If you're not in it to win it, then get the fuck out. And if the thing that you've written doesn't uplift the crowd, then great. Go recite the shit to yourself. Isn't that just the old artistic debate about whether our creations come from a mystical place that gives them an intrinsic weight that we can separate from any attempt to measure them in a functionalistic way? Yes, exactly. Poets indulge in rank mysticism. Rappers acknowledge the connection between effort and discipline and getting recognition. Poets are trying to be exorcists instead of physicians. That's the essential difference between rappers and poets. We're all entertainers, except the MCs happen to know it. Wait, so didn't I just redefine a poet as an uncharismatic showman? Okay, fine, well, let's just have a little diplomatic moment, okay? When it comes to battles and getting pushy, I can generalize and be like, rappers are arrogant rookies that act like dicks and poets are all just a bunch of pussies. But sometimes that definition isn't so good looking. I mean, how can I speak with so much certainty when my whole analysis is borrowed from Team America World Police? Why am I so determined to give the third degree to my brethren who get their bread like me from the words we speak? Here's the reason we need poets and rappers to be contrasted. Because we have to understand our differences if we want to combat them. So I'll give you a little definition to help with your thought patterns. All rappers are poets, but all poets are not rappers. Yes! Yeah! Rap is just a subcategory. Rap is a subclass of poetry. We both have talents with metaphors and allegory, but when it comes to rhyme and rhythm, rappers simply have authority. As for hip-hop culture, that's another story. I mean, life is bigger than hip-hop, and hip-hop is bigger than rap, and rap is bigger than poetry if you measure it by its impact. But if rap is a limb of poetry, then poetry's bigger than that. So just pick a branch and swing from it, as long as you get them to clap. Or if your applause is lukewarm instead of uproarious because you got writer's block or you hit creative menopause, then just get off the stage. In that regard, poetry and hip-hop's the same. Okay, 99% of all contenders get washed away. And whether you're claiming gangster or you're in the conscious vein, recognize there's a direct line of descent between Dr. Faustus and Dr. Dre. There was a time once when poets wrote history. But I'm afraid it's not today. Thank you.
Come on, Mike.
It's over! It's over!
Papa. That hurts.
You've got that hurt.
It hurts. I hurt. And I have every right to be heard. And I have every right to be heard. I have every right, and I fight to be heard over the noises that come out of my mouth, the violent earthquake, wind and fire, all I think, feel, desire, as the volume settings getting higher until the speaker breaks. And the truth leaks in. Almost inaudible, inedible, and I am unable to completely tune into the frequency of freedom, but the still small voice. I hope, I believe, I can conceive of a world without hurt. And that hurts. It hurts. It hurts. I hurt. And I have every right to be hurt, and I have every right to be heard. I have every right, and if only I might stop shouting and bouting and shielding my feelings with unnatural ceilings and walls with no ear to hear a whisper of pain. But I'm too loud to listen again and again. I must refrain from my literary loutishness. Who's the tosser? Who's the tosser? Who's the tosser in my head? Who's afraid? He's afraid. He's afraid to the core. He's not singing. He's not singing. He's not singing anymore. Well, not so's in here, because he's always ignored by ego number one, who's out there having fun. He's lying in the sun. He lies to everyone. He's always on the run from the truth, because it hurts. It hurts. I hurt. I have every right to be heard, and I have every right to be heard, and if only I could stop this absurd babbling, then I might be able to hear. Let's get one thing clear. Let's do it here and now. Let's work out how to communicate. Hello? Who hurts? Who is hurt? Who has hurt? And hands up who wants the hurting to end. And hands up who needs a friend. And hands up who won't put your hand up just because you're just being ignored, or you're just plain bored, or you just can't afford the effort of trying to open the door to a feeling because it hurts, this unpeeling of armour, revealing more than words can say. That silent space, that raw red place that really